The world is ending. Don't panic, though. Welcome to Mikeybalzz Fishing, and if you're like me, you do not believe the world is ending. However, and by the way, we haven't tested positive for the coronavirus yet. Bog, have you tested positive for the coronavirus? No, I'd say that's a no. Not making fun of the situation. I do think people are overreacting, but that's another conversation that we will have. But no matter whether you think this is an overreaction, whether you think this is the end of the world, whether you think somewhere in between, which is pretty much like the responses, the end of the world, somewhere in between, or it's kind of like an overblown panic, things are going to be affected. We've already seen like the hospitality industry, a bunch of people like lost their jobs and are being laid off in like hotels and stuff. But we always kind of look at problems and panics and catastrophes and how they kind of affect the things that we love. So I wanted to talk to you real quick about how this is going to affect fishing, and I want to get your opinion because I think there's going to be a lot of different perspectives and nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. So let's take a second. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let's talk coronavirus. Will it destroy fishing? So I'm going to go with simple answer is no. And I say that because I think we're all pretty much equally hardcore. I think you guys are as hardcore with fishing as I am. And I can tell you right now that after I get done with this video, I'm going to rig rods because I'm going to go launch my boat and go fishing. And the only way I will stop fishing is if someone in Alabama or Florida goes and closes the boat ramps. And even at that point, I might still try to fish. So I don't think it's going to stop like the hardcore ones of us. But what I think is going to happen is there's going to be a lot of changes. And I think the biggest change that we're going to see, and I think right now MLF, FLW, and some of the big like kind of like tournament circuits are avoiding it, is there's going to be kind of a halt or a very big, smackdown on tournament fishing because it's a grouping of large people. And whether there's I'm not a science denier, but whether I guess like the group sort of cutting down the groups things actually works, we kind of got to see and go through that process. Whether it works or not, people are still going to be implementing that, and that's going to be a part of kind of how we're going to deal with this coronavirus deal. So that's directly going to affect like large groups, big tournaments. And that's something that really drives, fishing across the board. Lake Gunnersville is renowned for just a tournament every day of the week, whether they're little wildcat deals, whether they're big weekend deals, ABAs, BFLs, like all the different, those aren't going to happen, dude. They're not going to happen. But what happens though, and this is what's kind of interesting, because we always talk about like when there's a demand for something, and there's like a lack of it or an inability to do something like it, like you want to do, demand always creates innovation. So does this mean that like the concept of the online tournament is going to be more implemented? Like, are these guys still going to fish the tournaments, but is there not going to be like a big meeting at the beginning? Is there not going to be like a group weigh-in? Is everything going to be submitted like using like your smartphone? Or are you going to like take your smartphone, catch your fish, weigh it like MLF, catch fish, weigh it, like send a video to the tournament director or something? Like, I guess Hammond's Fishing, my buddy Tim, go check it out. They're running these they're sort of like real-time wildcat tournaments, and they give you a scale. You go out, you shoot a video of the fish like being weighed on the scale, and you take a picture of it, and you're allowed to like weigh it like one or two times, send that video in. Then they're kind of, what do you call them? They're judged by kind of an official, which is Tim usually, and then they actually show them like in real time on a TV screen, and the guys never like keep the fish or anything like that. The fish gets released in the video. Is that something that's going to be implemented for kind of our standard like wildcat kind of even BFL tournaments? Like, is that kind of the direction we're going? I mean, what do you guys think? Like, is there a better format? I don't want to have the MLF FLW 5 big fish argument. That's not what we're talking about here. But I guess what I'm asking is, do you guys, I know a lot of you guys kayak fish, is there a tournament format that you use that you think could kind of reduce the direct interaction of anglers during the tournament, but still allow for a tournament format or a competitive format, whether it's length, fish weight, whatever? If you have something, drop it down in the comments box, because I'd be curious to kind of investigate that, because I think that's the direction that some of this stuff might need to go. We have not tested positive for the coronavirus, so we're going to keep it a little bit lighthearted. And I was talking to Val, who owns Gambler Lures, about this. So is this going to solve the Guggen problem? In the sense that, like, our guy's gonna be like not bojangling spots because it's like, hey bro, I'm sneezing here, bro, don't get within 10 feet of me, bro. Like, can you imagine like ledge fishing in May, dude? And like, you know, like that old Jason Lambert kind of like problem, whatever, Randy Haynes and all that. Like, dude, people won't want to pull up on you because they don't want to get coronavirus. Like, it's gonna totally solve the Guggen problem. So from a like industry kind of more business standpoint, obviously, you know, it is going to hurt people's disposable incomes because people are going to lose jobs like we talked about. But at the same time, I think the one cool thing about fishing, and I've talked about it in my videos, like whenever I talk about, like, you know, Tyler Wilcott I mentioned, or Jacob Wall, or some of the FLW pros, the younger guys that I've met, one thing I always mention is, like, I love a self-made angler. And really, in reality, all of us are super duper stubborn and independent. Like, I think that's one trait. Like, there's very few like universal traits like across, you know, groups of people or people with certain interests or hobbies and that. But I really believe that if you fish, you are, number one, super stubborn deep down inside. Even though you might be open and whatever, you're super stubborn and you're super independent and like self-driven. So like, I think it's kind of good because in a sense, you know, we all are willing to go fish alone. We like to fish with people, you know, whatever, but we're all kind of, in a sense, loners and kind of on a drive to find that pattern, to find that big fish, to figure things out, to understand what's going on the lake. And I think in that way, because we're driven to that, you know, we're still going to go out to the lake and go fish. We're still going to go to the bank. Like I said, dude, like literally, like they can try to shut down the boat ramps. My buddy told me they shut down boat ramps in Illinois. That's freaking insane. Like, I dare you. No, I don't dare you. Please don't do that, is what I'm saying. But like, if they do that, I'm still going to fish, because guess what happens if I don't go fishing? I lose my freaking mind. Lose it. Right, Paul? And what would you do? You'd be so sad if we didn't go fishing. I'm not super worried about the overall impact. The industry's been growing little by little and in different ways. So like I've always said, whether you like it or not, you know, the Guggen squad bringing in all these younger anglers and all that, like, it's growing, and that's what it's about. We want more people fishing, however they come into it, whatever. Like, we want more people to fish, and I think that's going to continue to happen because there's so many different types of fishing that happens. And maybe this relates to the tournament thing we talked about. Maybe this is an opportunity to create different mediums for tournament fishing, to create different formats that, although they take out some of the interaction, they might be more innovative and allow us to run tournaments and have tournaments, more of them, in safer, sort of, I don't know, easier ways, more venues, smoother, like less administration, which means like less costs, like you can run them like cheap and stuff like that. So like with every problem, you get kind of innovations and solutions, and I'm hoping that's what's going to happen with this, because like, screw this, dude. I'm so sick of hearing about this. Like, I will take every precaution, and you know, I'm gonna help the people that I care about. Just talk to the old man across the street to see if he needed some groceries, because people are bum rushing the grocery stores. Nice job, people. Can't get any AR-15 ammo? Like, take a breath, bro. Take a breath. Actually, let's do that real quick. Like, I'm not a big yoga guy, but let's all take a collective breath and let it out, and think about fishing, because that's what'll put a grin on your face. But basically, let's wrap this video up. I want to know how you think this coronavirus is going to affect fishing. You know, like groupings of people getting together. I think the tournament thing's the biggest. Drop down in the comments box. I really want to hear, you know, like what formats you think could be implemented when it comes to this tournament thing. And check out Hammond's Fishing and the tournament that they run. It's kind of a cool deal. Tim explained it all to me. It's very fluid, simple, and the biggest thing is it takes care of the fish too. I don't think the bass can get coronavirus, but I do have my Bass Lives Matter shirt on. Always keep that in mind. Bass Lives Matter. But let me know what your perspectives are. I always like hearing what you have to think, and I wanted to put out a video. It's a topic everybody's freaking out. Don't freak out. Like, be safe, be careful, but go fishing, because in the end, that's what makes us happy. It puts a grin on our face, because I'm gonna go do that. I'm not gonna go and like snuggle with the guy next to me at the boat ramp, but I'm going to the boat ramp and I'm going fishing, and I will practice safe social distancing, or whatever it's called. Do I need to be distant from bog though? I don't think so. No one needs to be distant from bog. Do what you love. be safe out there. People are acting stupid. No matter what you think of it, whether you're on level 1, 2, or 3. But let me know what you think. How the coronavirus, will it destroy fishing? Will it wreck fishing? Is FLW and MLF going to pause their tournaments? Like, what's going to happen here? How are we going to move forward? Let me know what you think. Guess what? I'm going to rig rods and I'm going to go fishing. I'm not bowing down to this. I'm going to keep it real. Bass lives matter. Peace out. I got to rig rods. Say bye to Bog. Bog, don't get the coronavirus. Thanks for watching, guys. Tight lines.